Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckbill's Stampin' Queen. I held my Wow Wednesday class last week. That's my class where we do a little bit advanced techniques, a little bit stepped up, sometimes even things that are very simple but still just have that wow factor. And this was one of the cards that we created. Now it has no stamping on it at all, and I had found it on Pinterest way back early in celebration. I never even pinned it. I just scrolled through it. It kind of stuck in my head and I thought, oh, that's a really cute spring card. They kind of look like little maybe cherry blossom, dogwood type flowers. And I thought, well, I'll just make that sometime for myself when I have a little bit of time. So when I was planning my WOW class, I created this card and it sat on my desk. And I thought, it seems a little too simple. I'm not sure if they'll enjoy that. And I thought, well, we'll go ahead and create it, and everyone really loved it. And so I thought I would do a video tutorial here for you to show you how I created this really cool card. So the first thing that I did was to use our Woodland embossing folder. Okay, it's one of my favorite folders of all time, and it actually was retired from our holiday catalog, I believe. And there was a cry heard around the world. Everyone messaged Stampin' Up! And told them how much we loved this folder. So it is currently retired. You're not able to order it, but it is coming back in our new catalog, which will be available in June. So yay, Stampin' Up! Thank you. So crumb cake cardstock, and I just embossed that image with the Big Shot. And I used some white craft ink, our Whisper White, and one of our sponge daubers. And I just dipped my dauber into the ink and just brushed it onto the raised side of the trees. Now, if you get a little bit outside the line, no big deal. This is hand created, so not something mass produced in a store or in a factory. So just keep putting some white ink. You can always go back and add more if you like, if you want it to be a little bit lighter. But basically you don't want to push too hard because you still want to see the indents of your birch or aspen trees in there. So for our tiny little tree limbs, I just used a blender pen. And so you close your ink pad, squish, 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 okay, top to bottom meet, and it's going to give you a little puddle of ink right in the lid, which then you can pick up with your blender pen and then color in those little fine little branches that are sticking off. Okay, so that's all I did to create that. You might want to have a little bit of drying time. You don't need much, but it is a pigment ink, so it is not drying to your paper immediately. So once you have that created by the magic of television, here is my cardstock already done and covered in my white. I then took an old retired punch. This is Itty Bitty Punch. You could use the current one that we have. I think that one's called Itty Bitty Accents, but I like this little guy because it's not real big. And I punched out a bunch of flowers in Blushing Bride and Pink Pirouette. So I had two shades of pink. I think I did about 26 of them total, so 13 of each color. And then I took our white gel pen and just dotted the centers. Now that did take a little bit of drying time, so not too long, but just one of those things where you could punch these out, put all the dots on, and then let it dry while you emboss and then sponge. So the final step with these flowers is, I don't want to spill them, I put them on our Stamping Pierce mat, and I took my stylus from the Simply Scored, and I used the fat end and I just stuck it right down in the center of all those flowers. So you can see now that they're almost a little bit 3D, okay? I also, in the meantime, used one of our wooden elements, and on the card I showed you, I think it had Celebrate, but it comes with Celebrate, Congrats, and Thanks all in that packet. And of course, the Wink of Stella, which is my favorite thing out of the Occasions catalog. I think I've said it 1,000 times. If you do not have a Winker pen, get yourself a Winker pen. You will not be sorry. And what I did was I just brushed right over top of that wooden embellishment. So I'm not sure if you can see that it has a little bit of glimmer to it. Sometimes these videos don't really show that really well, but again, let that have a little bit of drying time. I did use the clear. You could definitely use the gold and it would be just as pretty. So in order to attach all these guys, Honestly, the easiest thing are mini glue dots. You're going to use a lot of them. You could use the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. That would take a little bit of time. I'm all about quick and painless, so I just used about 26 glue dots on every single card that I created. So you're just going to stick your little flower right to the glue dot and pop it off. And then you're just going to start putting them on the little branches that are sticking off so that you have little cherry blossom or little dogwood trees. It doesn't really matter, no rhyme or reason. Everybody's card will look a little bit different, but you're just going to randomly start sticking those on there. So see, it's glue dots. They are the easiest way to go. All right, so that's all there really is to that. I'm not going to make you watch me do them all. It'll then get mounted onto a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. So a little bit of snail adhesive. What's definitely easiest is actually to attach your card together before you have your flowers on. Now I have a tiny little 1/8 of an inch of that Blushing Bride. You could make it a little bit bigger if you want to see a little bit more of it, but see how it kind of flattened my flowers a little bit when I turn that over to put the adhesive on. So I would go ahead and put your whole card together. And then I did use our ultra thick Whisper White cardstock. I love this stuff. A lot of you have been asking me what to do with it. I don't use it for my stamping because it is not quite as ultra smooth as our regular Whisper White cardstock, but it makes a very nice, very sturdy, very solid card base. So I do like that when I'm using card bases, and especially for this one because it has a little bit of added weight once you put that wooden element on there. Again, with the wooden element, it is a hand cancel card. They are broken very easily, so I would definitely pay the extra money. I think it's 70 some cents now to do a hand cancel card and not have that go through the postage machine. Okay, so I'm going to fluff my flowers up just a little bit. And then the final step is going to be to attach my wooden element. And the same thing is I'm going to use glue dots for that also. And just kind of put the glue dot in the thicker part where they're, you know, where it's not so skinny that it will stick through. And maybe 2 or 3. I didn't really use a whole lot of them. Just be very careful when you're putting the glue dots on because they do break really easily. So I'm just going to attach that right there, and there is that will be your final step, and there's your finished card. I did celebrate. I thought it seemed like a nice spring card, and a couple girls in my class thought that would make a really pretty Mother's Day card as well, even Easter, but Easter was early this year, so we're a little past that. So that is all there is to that one, and I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out Movie Monday, and hopefully I will see you guys next week. Have a great week.